Joining us now, Abby Cohen, co-founder along with your partner Andrew Breimer, correct, of Sparo Labs, with a product you have come up with called Wing. We'll talk about that in just a second, but I first want to just get a little bit of your kind of personal story for Sparo Labs and you and Andrew. You're a WashU grad, but you were still going to WashU as undergraduates, both of you, at the time that you came up with this idea that we're going to talk about here in a second. So you came up with the idea, you won some awards, you got some money, you decided to stay in St. Louis. This is like the Chamber of Commerce dream story here. How did this happen? Are you glad you stayed in St. Louis? What has St. Louis done for you to make you want to build your business here?
Yeah, so we got started, myself and my co-founder, out of WashU, out of an extracurricular group on campus, where we were really just trying to find a problem and put some of the engineering skills that we had and were learning in the classroom to actual use in doing good in the world. And so that's really where we identified respiratory conditions like asthma and cystic fibrosis and COPD as these really big problems that hadn't seen any innovation in the last several decades. And really the crazy thing about it, in particular asthma is a really big problem in St. Louis. It's triple times the national average in some places. On top of that, in the United States in general, there's about 30 million people with asthma, and it costs $56 billion in annual healthcare costs to the US healthcare system. And the crazy thing about it is that about 80 to 90% of all asthma attacks, ER visits, hospitalizations, deaths due to asthma are completely preventable if you know what to do and what medication to take at the right time before it gets to a point where you can't breathe. And so that's really where we developed Wing from, which is basically a device that allows people to more proactively manage their condition and prevent asthma attacks from even happening in the first place. And for us, our story started at WashU, but then we started to win and enter competitions in order to fund ourselves. And those were grant competitions. Some were local, like the Discovery competition at WashU, the Olin Cup. Arch grants is another example, and then some were more on a national basis with professional organizations like IEEE and ASME. And I think that what we found in St. Louis is that one, asthma is a really big problem here.
The problem is here. The work is
So it's a big problem here, and some of the leading researchers in the space are at WashU Medical School. One of our advisors, Dr. Mario Castro, has been working with us from the beginning. In addition, there's already this network around helping children with asthma get access to the medications and the treatment that they need through organizations like the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America St. Louis chapter. It's the most active chapter in the country. It's here, right in our backyard. And then on top of that, with all the different support networks in St. Louis, whether it's I-10, WashU, of course, for us, Arch Grants, there's so many organizations out there that are really just, their goal is to help you succeed in St. Louis.
So I often think that an entrepreneur, an inventor, is just born. Did you imagine yourself that this would be the career path you were taking, or were you kind of developed and cultivated? Was this born out of WashU's prodding, out of the initiative to encourage entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I actually have a different journey than most people, I would say. So I came to WashU knowing that I wanted to go into the medical field. At first I thought I wanted to be a doctor. Then I thought maybe I want to work at a big company. And my junior year, I really wasn't sure what I wanted because I knew both of those things weren't the right fit. WashU gave me an opportunity to actually try everything that I wanted to do, or thought I wanted to do. And so for me, I got involved with this project, really liked it, and I've always been entrepreneurial. I love starting things, but I didn't necessarily identify myself as an entrepreneur. And I have to say, it actually ended up taking my co-founder, Andrew, really tapping me on the shoulder and saying, hey, we could do this after school. We could make this into something real and really make an impact. And I started talking to patients, starting talking to doctors, and I realized what a huge impact we were going to be able to have. And if we weren't going to do it, then nobody was. And so for me, it was helping people breathe better is a really tough thing to turn down. And so we kind of just went in full force at that point.
What do you need that you can't find in St. Louis so far?
So far. I think in general, you can find a lot in St. Louis. I think for us, some of the limiting factors, because I don't want to say that you can't find anything here, because I don't think that's been the case, but rather I think that we have the opportunity to look beyond St. Louis to find the right fit for certain things, whether that's investment or team members. I think that it's limiting to just look in one place no matter where you are. Even if we were in San Francisco or New York, I think good people and good investors and good fits are everywhere. And so to me, it doesn't make sense if you don't have to limit yourself to one location.
Abby Cohen with Sparo Labs, thank you for your time. It was a pleasure meeting you, and good luck to you.
Thank you.